Hey friends, Miranda here, and today we are going to be making ceviche! Yes, I've been craving this for a while, so I thought I would go ahead and share with you guys what all you will need. Some people may consider this more of like a kind of like a cocktail kind of thing, but this is the way I've been making it for years, and we've just known it as ceviche. So, just a heads up, it requires a lot of chopping, you guys. So let me go ahead and share with you what all I put in mine. Now, not everybody's is going to be the same. Some people do just shrimp. Some people do just fish. It just kind of depends. So let me go ahead and share with you. So you are going to need shrimp, you guys. Now, I have two different kinds of shrimp in here. So I do have some of like the little itty bitty baby shrimp, the shrimp meat, whatever you want to call it. And then I have some of these bigger shrimp. These are already, cooked, and these just had a tail on them. So I took the tails off. I rinsed all my shrimp and everything. So I have a pound of the baby shrimp, and then I have a pound of these cooked that were tail on shrimp. And then I have 3 tilapia fillets here that we're going to cut up into like tiny little pieces and add to that. You will also need some crab. I'm not going to be using this whole thing, probably just half of it. Normally, you guys, I would add octopus to this, just a little bit, but I didn't have a chance to go to the Asian supermarket because that's usually where I can find it. Winco's kind of hit or miss. You can sometimes find it, sometimes not. But I just didn't feel like going over to the Asian market, so I'm just sticking to these 4 as like my main ingredients. You will need cilantro, you guys. Depending how much you're making, it would be about 1 to 2 bunches of cilantro. You will need cucumber. I have 2 here. They're pretty big in size. You could do more. I may use a 3rd one depending after I get everything chopped up what it looks like. You will need several tomatoes. I'm going to be using about 5 here. I've made huge batches before, you guys, and I've used like way more ingredients, but for this amount, about a pound, 2 pounds of shrimp, the fish, and this should be pretty good. I have 1 onion here. I don't want to use too much. Normally, I would use the red onions, but I totally spaced and forgot to get them. So you can use just a regular white or yellow onion, preferably probably 2. But for this amount, and like I said, since these onions come out pretty strong, I'm just going to be using 1 today. You will need the juice of an orange, 1 to 2, depending on how much you make again. And then you will need several limes. Now, I have these really huge giant limes. Like, look at that, you guys. These are insanely big. So I have about 4 of these big ones and like 1 small one. So, but if you're going to be using the smaller ones, you're probably going to need maybe, 6 or 8. Just kind of depends. You will need some ketchup here. You will also need some V8. Now, the next item is optional, you guys, but I have some Tapatio here. This is good to add some flavor, a little bit of spice to your ceviche. Again, it's totally optional, but I like to add this in. And then also, since you eat this with like tostadas or chips, you can also just put this like on top, like drizzle it on top. And that is it, you guys. Some people with ceviche, they don't use ketchup. They don't use the V8 or anything like that. They just use like the juice from the limes, which that's totally fine too if you're not like a fan of like the whole tomato kind of thing. You can just do the lime juice. But anywho, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this cut up, and with the crab here, we are going to kind of just shred it up, kind of like tear it apart into like little pieces, and we're gonna add it to the shrimp, and I will show you guys what we do from there. So just to show you guys the fish, that's how big I'm cutting them. Just into like little kind of like bite-sized square pieces there. So I'm going to do that to all the fish, and I'm going to add it to my shrimp. So there's the fish. I've gone ahead and added it to the shrimp. Now I'm going to go ahead and shred up the crab. Alright, so with the crab, all I do is just kind of like start to pull it apart into little pieces, kind of like that. You can see right there. That's all you got to do, and just toss it in with the rest of the crab and fish. All right, so there you have everything in. I just use this pot here because this, you guys, so the way I make this, it's kind of a long process because what's gonna happen is we're gonna let this marinate for about 3 to 4 hours. Number one, because obviously the only raw ingredient in here is the fish. Some people like to partially cook it before putting it in. I just put it in raw, you guys. And what it does is with the limes, it cooks. And then we'll just let it marinate 3 to 4 hours to get all the lime and the flavors just kind of going together. So yeah. But you definitely don't want to do more than 3 to 4 hours because then it tends to overcook the shrimp. So I'm going to go ahead and get my limes. If you guys have one of these lime squeezer things, they're such a lifesaver. And we're going to go ahead and just squirt the lime juice onto here. So let me get my limes going here. Let me get them cut up. This one's probably going to be super big for this, but actually I'm probably going to have to do these ones with my hands. You can see got the lime juice coming out there. Get out as much as you can. Since these limes are so big, they don't fit in my lime squeeze thingy. So I'm just going to do it like this. Get out as much as I can. These ones are so juicy, you guys. So juicy. I have never seen limes this big here before. So like that. Like I said, you're going to need several limes. And in the event that you feel that it needs more lime or it doesn't look like there's enough lime juice in there, you can always add more at the end once everything is combined, like all the veggies and all of your meat here. So I'm going to go ahead and get all my lime squeezed in and I will be back. All right, so I have all my limes squeezed. Again, depending how much you're making is going to depend on how many limes you use. Since mine were big, I didn't need as many, but if you're using just like regular sized limes, definitely probably about 8 to 10 for at least this amount of ceviche that you're going to be making. So I don't know, you can kind of see, probably not, but you can see the lime juice in there. You see that? So you're just going to give this a good stir. Okay, stir it as best you can, kind of incorporate everything really well. Get everything coated with the lime juice. And again, if you do end up needing more lime, you can always add more. But you definitely don't want to overdo the limes because you can do that and yeah, it's not good. So definitely you can kind of tell by the taste whether or not you need more limes. But this should be good. So I've mixed everything. Now this next part is going to be very important, you guys. You need some aluminum foil. And what you're going to do is cover this. Cover your pot, your bowl, whatever you're using. Okay, sorry about the lighting there. But you're going to cover it. And what the foil is going to do is going to help, along with the limes, to cook the fish. And so then I just put the lid on it and I'm going to pop this in the fridge. Now, every hour, you guys, for the next 3 to 4 hours, I'm going to open this, I'm going to stir it, and then put the foil back on, put the lid back on, put it back in the fridge. So every hour, you're going to just give it a good mix, and then, you know, put the foil and lid back on and pop it back in the fridge. Once every hour. So while that's in the fridge, we're going to go ahead and chop up all our vegetables. You do want your cucumbers peeled, so I'm going to go ahead and peel these. All right, once they're peeled, I've cut off the ends. So what I actually like to do is, to make it easier, I just cut it in half, and then we're going to do it in half again. And I just like to take a spoon and scoop out the seeds here. So we're going to do that to all of them, and then we're going to just chop them up into tiny pieces. All right, and that's about how small you want to cut your cucumbers, just little cubed pieces. Okay, so now the onion is ready and good to go. It's all chopped up, very fine little pieces. All right, so there we have all of our veggies chopped up, you guys. Just try and chop them up as fine as you can. And the idea is basically to have your veggies kind of be you know, the same amount. So if it looks like you have too much of one veggie, you probably need to add some more of the other veggies. But this is what it looks like, you guys. Now we're just gonna wait on the shrimp mix to be ready, and I will show you guys what to do from there. But the idea kind of with ceviche, you guys, is there, you know, basically there's no real amount, like specifically. You kind of just have to eyeball everything. So yeah. All right, you guys. So 4 hours later, we have our little shrimp mix here, and you will see right there the piece of fish. It's actually changed in color, and even the juice in here, it's gone from like a clear color to this kind of like white color. So that's a good sign. Like I said, just make sure you check every hour. Give it a good mix every hour. And then like 4 hours later, you're good to go. So all we're going to do is, I did mix around the veggies here. So we are just going to add the shrimp mix into here with the juice and everything. Just going to add it in. Okay. And then we're just going to give it a good little mix to kind of incorporate everything here. Got a big old pot of ceviche here. All right, so after you've kind of mixed everything, everything here, like I said, is kind of by eye. Just eyeball it, you guys. It's really honestly to your liking. So we are going to take the orange and we are going to squeeze in the juice from the orange. Like so. Wow. From both of them. I'm just using one. Again, depending how much you make, you may need two. But for this amount, I'm just using one. I'm also going to go ahead and add in salt. This is to your liking, you guys. You add as much as you need to. And then we're going to go ahead and add in some ketchup. This, I would say roughly for the ketchup, is probably about like a cup or so. I just squirt it in. Again, this can be to your liking. You want to add a lot, you want to add a little. So I'm going to go with that for now. Then I'm going to go ahead and add in the V8. This is really just to help make it more juicy. So I had about a fourth left of this one. So I'm going to just go ahead and give it a mix. But I am going to go ahead at this time and also add the Tapatio. Again, this is optional. I like to add this for that little extra flavor, a little bit of heat. And then I still add some like at the end, like once it's plated up. This again to your liking. And now we can go ahead and just stir everything together. Gosh, this looks so good, you guys. It's been forever actually since I've had ceviche. So I don't make it as often because it can tend to get a little pricey depending how much you're making. But I mean, this is going to be just for us, so this is more than enough, and we'll have plenty of like extra as well. So I think to mine, I want to add some more V8. So I'm going to add in about another quarter of this container, this bottle of juice here. This is a 46 flow ounce bottle, you guys. So roughly you use like half, but so I used a quarter from this empty one, and then I'm using about a quarter from this other one. And then I think I am going to add a tad bit more ketchup to it, you guys. Just because I like the flavor, I like the color to be there, and I like mine to be super juicy. And probably a little bit more salt. All right. So now let's give this another mix, and we should be good to go now, you guys. And this, you just put it in a bowl, and you can eat it with chips or with tostadas, or you can, you know, put spoonfuls of it onto a tostada and eat it that way. You can garnish with avocado, some more salsa, like I use in here, Tapatio. You could use Valentina, whatever you prefer. But that is basically it, you guys. You can see it's pretty juicy in there. That's the way I like mine, at least. So that's all there is to it, you guys. I hope you all enjoyed, and I cannot wait to get into this. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know if you give it a try. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.